Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole? Here to answer those questions and so much less, I'm joined by an expert in identifying assholery and all that kind of behaviour, the wonderful Jordan Barr. Welcome.
Hello, thank you.
Hello, thank you.
I was just thinking, I'm like, am I good at identifying assholes?
Do you think you are?
I think I could literally, if a physical asshole, I think I could be like, that's an asshole.
yeah. If you're ready to line up with 3 people and 1 asshole sticking out, a full moon, and I can pick it out pretty good like that.
Yeah, I can find the butthole for sure.
That is for sure.
In any situation. But literal assholes, I think like if there's a subtle, I reckon there's a specific kind of asshole that I can pick.
Yeah.
Where it's like that kind of like misogynist vibes where they're like, but it's like so subtle where it's like,
sure.
Like, and I think the only reason I can do that is because I've watched so much reality TV. I've watched so many like dating show reality TV
like
shows.
Maths and
and Love is Blind is my favorite too.
Sure, yep.
And there's all these guys that present in a certain way and like on paper you're like tick, 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 they seem great.
Yep.
And then next minute, and then you're like, wait, the clues were always there.
Yeah. Just taking me a little bit to catch up.
It's like the first 5 minutes of the podcast. I'm like, you can't trust anyone.
You can't trust anybody. You simply cannot trust anybody. But are you good at calling out asshole behaviour? Like if you see someone that's behaving in some way, are you good at calling it out, or do you not kind of like confrontation?
No, I'm a bit of a coward with confrontation, but I might like I can bully people.
Sure. Just push them. Just shove them a bit.
Shove them a bit.
I'm a big shover.
Oh my God, I bullied it off.
That's life.
But I will like, if someone is like overtly an asshole and isn't clicking that they're being an asshole in like a group setting, then I will sort of say things.
Yeah,
that are
sure.
kind of mean.
Yeah, after a shove.
Maybe I'm the
Maybe
asshole.
I'm the asshole here. You do a quick scan. Oh, maybe I'm the asshole here.
I'm the asshole.
Now, what is going on in the world of Jordan Barr at the moment? What is happening in your world? Are you up to anything at the moment? Is there anything that we can expect coming from you soon?
I wish. I don't. Nothing crazy. I'm taking a year off doing the festival.
Yeah, sure.
Which has been good, and it is just like not. It goes to show how much like you just squeeze. I'm sure you feel this way with like writing an hour.
Oh my God.
I'm like, my life is no less busy. I still feel as busy.
Yeah.
Or like there isn't a gap in my life that is like, oh, this is where prepping the show would have been.
Yeah, sure.
It's like it's still busy, but I'm just squeezing in.
Yeah.
Writing a show.
Every gig you can do
Yeah,
to physically
literally.
try out one new joke.
It's insane. But yeah, it's been kind of a chill to like a few months. I've started working at Triple J, which is great. But I also will be going to Edinburgh, which is cool.
Oh, that's exciting.
Have you ever been there?
No. Well, I've been to visit and just do gigs, but I haven't actually been to do the festival.
Yeah, I'm the same. I did it last year and did it for like a week.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this seems like a fun way to go bankrupt.
Yeah. It's a fun way to lose lots of money quick. Yeah.
Let me do it guns a-blazing and with like 3 pints in hand.
Yeah. At all times. So you're going over to do a full show over there for the full run?
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay.
Should be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So last year you just went to do spots?
Yeah.
And then you're taking the show from last year?
I think I'll do a new show.
Okay.
I say that now. Talk to me in 6 months. I'm like, it's just going to be a best of.
Yeah. You can do it an audience with Jordan Barr.
Yeah.
We know what it is. It's a lot of crowd work, a bit of Q&A up top. QA up top is fun. I've never seen a QA up top.
That would be sick. I remember I went and saw an evening with Susan Sarandon. I've also seen an evening with Julie Andrews. I've been to a lot of evenings with.
What were they good? Was Susan Sarandon? I imagine.
Susan Sarandon was sick because it was just like so interesting. But she was also like high as a kite. Like that woman is a stoner.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun. Okay.
But like in like a not in like a she's giving a bad interview kind of way. Just being like she's stoned and we're getting something great out of this. But it was
she thinks she's floating right now.
Yeah. And the whole interview, I think it was Carrie Bickmore interviewing her, and it was at the Regent Theatre.
Oh wow! Of course it was. Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah.
And then we were just like, they were talking about like stuff that she's done in terms of like she's super anti-capitalist punishment, and it's like she's been advocating against that, and all this other amazing work that she's done, all the films she's done, incredible, blah blah blah. And then it got to the Q&A segment of the show. Yeah. And this woman, there were so many questions about that guy she used to date. What was his name? He was in.
It's not Colin. Like, Tim. I guess in Tim Collins, the comedian.
I think you're bang on.
Tim Robbins.
Yeah. And people would be like one of the questions, I'll never forget it. They have one question for Susan Sarandon. They've come over with a mic, and this.
If you could be a tree,
woman-
what kind of tree would you be and why?
Oh, okay, that would have been better.
Oh, really? Okay, great.
Truly,
It's a low bar then.
It was. Oh my god. She goes. Oh, and this is classic. They bring the mic over to this woman. She stands up and she goes, "I just want to know what it was like being with Tim Robbins when they were shooting the film Mystic River." And she was like, "Oh, I wasn't like on set." And like,
what do you mean?
and she was just like, "Oh yeah, like he seemed into it."
He went to work every day.
Yeah. Seems like heavy subject matter, blah blah blah. And she was like, "Cause it's this woman just gonna be like, cause he's amazing in that movie." And this is like they've broken up.
Can I tell you? I love Tim Robbins.
I loved Tim.
Tim
I'm
Robbins.
devastated you guys broke up. But
What's he doing now? Can we call him?
Can we call him?
Can we call him? I'd rather Q&A with him if we can get one.
Yeah. Well, he was at the Oscars the other week, and he has full white hair. And
Really?
it's stunning to see.
That's so funny.
I love it. But it was just like the funniest thing ever. I was like, imagine if you've worked your entire life
Yeah.
in film and TV and in advocating for human rights, and you still are getting asked about your ex.
Yeah. Every single time. What a Q&A. What a waste as well. They weren't vetted at all. Like it wasn't a no.
I don't know what happened.
So
And like, I was like, I audibly groaned. I was
yeah,
like,
yeah. This is the worst. I
Yeah.
saw Fran Lebowitz live.
how was
It was
that?
so good. Like a few weeks ago, she was so funny and so great. But
Great.
the only thing was that for some reason, I don't know why, but in Australia they couldn't do a real Q&A. Like people weren't allowed to ask questions. They put them on a screen.
Oh, because we're disgusting people.
We're disgusting people. Yeah. They didn't trust the filter. So it was just like on a screen, and so she had to look down at the screen. She couldn't really see it, so they had to move the scrine.
That's funny.
And then that's funny. It's funny. You
She
can
would
look
have hated
up.
that.
She absolutely hated it. And then some of the questions she just went no. No. And I was like, that's really funny because a lot of the time, like if it was like the live Q&A,
Yeah.
I guess Susan Sarandon has to say something. But with Bran, it was like next. No. And then at some point the questions ran out. And she had to go, have we got more? Have we got more questions? Have we got more questions? Next. And it was just the filler was weird because it was just like there wasn't anything coming on the screen, obviously, for her. And there was a moment, I think, where she was freaking out going, are there enough questions? Like, I've never had a shortage of questions.
What was she saying no to? You couldn't see what she was
I couldn't
saying.
see. No, there's a lot of Taylor Swift questions. And I was like, what a weird thing to go to Fran Lebowitz and go, I'm going to ask her if she's a Swiftie. Are you a full Swiftie?
No. Me, myself?
No, there's Fran Lebowitz.
Fran Lebowitz?
Are you a Swiftie?
Fran Lebowitz is not a Swiftie.
No, absolutely
And
not.
she does not need to comment on Taylor Swift. I'm so done with everybody having to have an opinion on
Yeah.
Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
Or being
yeah.
like forced to be like, or I don't know. It was so fucking weird. Like I remember seeing Anthony Albanese's like Spotify Wrapped, and
Oh,
Taylor
yeah.
Swift was like his number 2 artist, and I was like, absolutely not.
No,
I was
no,
like,
no,
what
yeah.
a desperate grab.
Yeah. And Scott Morrison just dancing in the crowd of Taylor Swift, and you're like, what are you doing, you flog? Yeah, but it was so funny because one of the questions was, what do you think about Taylor's relationship with her new boyfriend? I was like,
Somebody
Fran
asked.
Lebowitz is not Dolly Doctor. Why are we asking about relationships with Fran Lebowitz? What sort of advice is Fran Lebowitz going to go, God, when you're with a man, you've got to love that. So I can imagine Fran Lebowitz, famous lesbian from New York. Like, what are you going to say?
And also being like, I've never heard her even talk about
Relationships.
relationship or
She's so
football.
private, I think, about her own relationships. I don't think she really talks about it. She's like,
Literally.
what are you asking her this for?
And it's so.
I'm like, what's your team in the AFL this year, Fran?
Oh my God. I think people try to put them on the spot with like
Yeah.
funny stuff.
Yeah.
But it's also just like, it's Fran. She's
Yeah.
going to hate it.
She's going to absolutely hate
and
it.
it's not
She
gonna
hates
be
you.
Like, yeah. It's not going to be funny.
Yeah.
I saw this interview with Papa Skarsgård, the old one, the big guy. The
Yeah,
dad.
yeah.
And
Daddy Skarsgård.
Daddy Skarsgård. And it was great. The interview was great as
Yeah.
well. But it was like red carpet. He walks past and she asked him a question, just being like, did anything silly happen on set that you remember or something?
Yeah.
Like, what was do you have a silly memory from being on set? And he is full.
What was Tim Robbins like? When you're filming Mystic River? Don't know.
Wasn't on set. He knows as much as Susan Sarandon.
Ask us all in the Q&A. Fran, what was Tim Robbins like in Mystic River?
And it was like the last question. I'll never get over
So
this.
fu-
So
no,
like
no,
we have
and
time
you
for
shouldn't.
one
You
more
shouldn't.
question.
Yeah.
Let's go to this like insane woman.
Yeah.
And then so she asked him like a yes or no question about like silly memories on set or whatever. Do you
Yeah.
have any silly memories?
Yeah.
And he's like a full Nordic man being like, this is a TikTok question and I can't sum everything up for a little soundbite for you. I won't do it. And then
I won't
goes,
do it.
Yeah,
I
and she
won't.
goes, you can just say yes or no. And then he goes, oh, okay, no. and then she's like, thank you. He goes, thank you. And walks away.
Oh
And
my
it was
God,
like-
that's so funny.
It was funny because she kind of had him as well, just being like, hey. And it was kind of one of those things where she kind of looked, it felt like she looked at me in the eye and went, I'm working.
yeah,
yeah,
I'm working.
We all exist under capitalism, unfortunately, and I am part of that. Means there's been so many times where, for whatever reason, I'm like running around or doing shit where I'm like, I hate this, I hate myself,
Yeah.
but unfortunately, I simply must make a buck.
I simply must.
I
Well, that was me
simply
at my
must.
gig last night. I was telling you about going,
yeah.
I simply must make a buck. I'm here. I'm definitely going to invoice for this. You know, when a gig goes that badly, so I was like I was saying to you, I was like emceeing,
Yeah.
had to keep getting back up even though the audience were talking. It was
Rip.
just brutal. And I was like, when you're looking out at the crowd, they're not listening, they're talking the whole time and trying to get them to shut up the whole time. And the whole time I was thinking, I'm going to invoice for this.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
you're going, I'm actually going to get paid.
invoicing.
Good gigs, I never really invoice. And then I'm like, I'm going to invoice for this. I'm definitely going to invoice for this. Like bad interviews, there's a really good interview. It's not really that bad, but it's an interview with Nathan Lane on WTF with Mark Maron.
Oh my God.
And it's really interesting because Mark does his typical, like, you know, he's kind of really brash and he's got like,
Yeah.
you know, he's talking a lot. And then Nathan Lane is like, do you really know who I am? And he's laughing the entire interview. And there's one bit where he goes, do you like the theater? And he goes, do I like the theater? I've given my life to the theater. It is one of the funniest things. You got to listen to it. It is one of the funniest interviews.
Incredible.
Because Nathan Lane cannot stop laughing the whole time. It is so funny.
It's so insane to me, and I'm sure there's like, from my perspective, I'm like, I know that there's heaps of like sporting heroes and other stuff that I just have no idea about. But it's like, from my perspective, to not even have like a base level of Nathan Lane.
Yeah.
To ask Nathan Lane.
Yeah, yeah.
If he likes the theater,
Do
is
you like
so
the theatre?
funny. I'm like, I can't imagine living in that world, but it's just different.
It is
different
so
strokes.
funny. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
amazing. I'm gonna listen to that.
I did a gig with Mark Maron like so long ago. I don't know if I
my
told you this about that.
God.
It was so funny. So I was like opening for Greg Fleet, and
Shit.
Greg Fleet was there, and he got Mark Maron to come, and it was a show called Big Love, and basically it was in the banquet room at the Victoria Hotel. No. It was at the Victoria Hotel, but I
Yeah.
don't know it was like a tiny little room.
Yeah.
And it wasn't full. Like it wasn't full at all. Hardly anyone was in there. And people had just
Mark
come,
Maron.
and Mark Maron was on. And it was like, you know, I would have been like 22 years old. We would have probably been almost working together at that point.
Oh my God, true.
Yeah. How funny was that the other night when we discovered that we probably worked together, but we didn't really. We had like a brief crossover
brief
when we heard about
crossover.
each other, but we never really met. Just hated each other, of course.
Oh yeah, we
I was
never
going,
met.
do you like the theatre? Given my life to the theatre. Yeah, but we were, so I was opening for Fleety, and then, and Fleety gigs, always, even back in the day, always hit and miss.
Yeah.
And, yeah, famously, always hit and miss. And so I'm about to go on a Mark Maron set, and I don't know Mark Maron. Like, I don't know. I mean, you know that I don't know him, but I mean, I don't.
You know him.
Yeah, I know of him, but I didn't know that I didn't know about his podcast. I didn't know about all this sort of
Yeah,
stuff. It was
yeah,
a long
yeah.
time ago. And so it was in the late 60s when I was just a young kid. But yeah, so I was standing with him, and he looks at me and he's like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, I'm just going to do a set. And he's like, yeah, good luck. And I was like, thank you. And then he goes, what do you think about Fleety? And I was like, yeah, I don't know. And I was like, I don't know. Like, you know, sometimes he's great. Sometimes, you know, he's really not that great. And he goes, the guy sucks. And then he ripped into Fleety for 10 minutes on stage. That's all he did. Just going, why are
That
you
is
guys even
so
here?
funny.
This guy sucks. I hate this guy. He came on my podcast the other day. And it was just like, it was so rough. And I listened back to the WTF with Mark Maron that he does with Fleety. And it's like, there's clearly tension. Like, there's clearly
why?
something there.
What is this relationship? Why is he doing it?
I don't know.
Was Fleety like laughing side stage or like?
Kind of. I think from memory, he seemed to be laughing a little bit, but also quite distracted by why are all these people laughing at me being an asshole?
Do you know what?
Which is fun.
That's interesting. Sometimes, and this isn't exclusive to Greg Fleet,
Yeah,
who
yeah.
I've never met and don't really have any opinions
You don't have to
on.
comment about Greg Fleet if you don't want to. I do always, but I'm in my right to comment about Greg Fleet. I worked with him for 6 years.
Yeah, you're like, I've earned my
I've earned my
stripes.
stripes. Him and Fiona Lachlan. I can comment about them as much as I like.
True. But when people don't know how to love, they assume
Yes.
they just like will see someone ripping into them for
Yeah.
10 minutes and be
Yeah.
like, well, they talked about me for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, they said
I'm flattered.
some of the worst things you can say about
They
a
said
person.
you're an old junkie and you suck. I'm flattered. Thank you so much.
Thanks for bringing me up. You're thinking about me.
Thanks for popping up my tires again, babe.
And it's like you see it sometimes at all these like roast battles, and I love a roast battle. I do a lot of like dark and kind of mean comedy.
You say roast battles?
Roast battles.
Have you done them?
No.
Oh,
sorry.
okay, right.
I do. I like watching them, and I think they can be really good for joke writing, and it's a really good example of that.
Yeah.
But then sometimes I'm just like, I remember when I first like truly, because I did like an open mic in this old, it used to be in on Glenferrie Road. It was called Resistance Cafe.
Heard of it. Yeah. Can I just say congratulations on that gig? I don't know if it's too late to say, but thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I did an open mic, and then like I got a booked spot a couple weeks later. Oh no, it must have been open mic again. But it was like one of those shows where the first half is booked and then the second half is open mic.
Yeah.
And I got there, signed up for the open mic, and they didn't have any women, so they put me in the first half, and I was like, that's great. But what happened was the first half was a roast battle, or like a roast of one of the comedians.
Great.
Who I'd never heard of. I never met anyone.
Yeah.
The crowd, the three guys who were in the crowd also had no idea who this comedian was, or that there was going to be this like roast battle.
Yeah.
Obviously. And then like it was a roast of this guy, me doing my second time doing stand up, and then back to the roast of this guy. And now for a brief interlude, here's Jordan.
Oh my
just
God.
like getting up there doing normal stand up. And then I remembered this the other night. I was talking about it with friends, and I was like, oh yeah, that was like the weirdest experience of my life. And then I was like, it was one of those things I was like, I wonder how many women have just stopped doing comedy because it was like their first or second gig, and they were just like, oh, this is bad. And it was like, this is what comedy is, roast battles with three people. And it was so weird, and they all left during my set. Nobody would, like, none of the comics, which now I'm like, I do that. I'm not watching everyone's set unless I have to. But at the time I was like, they all watched each other's because they were roasting each other.
Yeah.
And then I got in the car, and Camp Cope's The Opener played, and I was like... this is my moment. And it's so funny looking back and being like, it really wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah.
You just had a shit gig.
And that's okay.
You just went to one of the worst rooms in Melbourne.
That's so funny.
It's not a feminist war cry that you think it is. But I digress. I don't even know what we were talking about.
No. So roast is so funny. So I remember seeing a roast of Dilruk Jayasinha, and it was I think it was like 10 years ago. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And Dilruk was kind of, I think, just starting to make a name for himself and everything. And I remember Tom Ballard doing a joke about him where he was like, Dill looks like a suicide bomber mid-explosion.
Oh my God.
I was like, what a line.
Jesus Christ.
People writing jokes like that.
Yeah.
It was so brutal and so I guess people writing jokes just for that moment to go, I'm never ever going to use it again.
Yeah.
There's a great Norm Macdonald one where he's like, I think he's doing he's doing old time jokes, doesn't really even mention the person that he's talking about. He's just doing really take my wife, please. I think to be shit on purpose.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just awful. But have you got a favorite roast of someone that you've seen?
Oh God, I really love.
How do you pick your favorites?
I love it. I really love. I think I also love it because I love just watching the men who've invited the roast, just sitting there copping it and being because I think that women can handle, and not all women, but I feel like women can handle a roast a little bit better than men, because part of me is tell me something I haven't said to myself. I dare you. Try to find something worse than what I've said to myself, staring blankly into the mirror. I challenge you. And whereas I remember watching the Rob Lowe one and the Justin Bieber one in particular, because I was like, why have you invited this?
Yeah.
You're not in a position to, you're not okay.
Yeah,
and it was just
and the ego's really fragile and oh my God.
But I love the Justin Bieber one in particular because Hannibal Buress was on that and he, a lot of his jokes got cut, but the main joke that got cut was him being like, this is a blatant attempt at saving your reputation and we're all just a part of it and thank you for the check. And it crushed. But it wasn't even it was someone, I think it was Whitney Cummings did a joke about how he's so good at dancing because his mother was young when she was pregnant with him, so he spent a lot of time dodging coat hangers in the uterus. That's why he's a good dancer. And that got through.
Yeah, wow.
That's fine. There's
wow.
so many other jokes made it through.
That's
but
so
the
funny.
one which was just the truth.
Yeah,
of just being like, this is a desperate attempt to save your image and to seem likable to the public where there's nothing likable about you.
Yeah.
Cut.
Are you
Too
a
much.
believer, Hannibal? Are you even a believer over here?
Are you a believer?
Are you a believer over here?
I loved it. And I
That's
was like,
so
because
funny.
it was just like, it cut through and it was exactly what it was.
It's exactly what I needed.
Yeah.
Now, I found some wonderful, wonderful people on a wonderful website called reddit.com for you today, Jordan.
Oh my God.
And they are wonderful people. I'm going to ask you the question, is Ben the asshole? Am I the asshole for stealing my girlfriend's phone and throwing it in the ocean?
Okay, is there more to this, or is that
Yeah.
just the? I was
There's
gonna say,
but look, it doesn't
Sir.
really explain it. It doesn't give him the I guess the kindness that he thinks is going to come his way when he goes through this. Like, it doesn't really give any credit to him, really.
It's
as he
hard
goes
to
on.
explain.
Yeah, she just has this picture of me that I really don't like, and I asked her to delete it many times. She wouldn't delete it, so I decided to take it from her, and I couldn't get the damn thing open with my face.
what? Oh God,
Because you've got different faces.
Yeah,
Jordan.
well,
I don't know if you know
different
this.
My partner found out that if you try to if other people are trying to use Face ID on your phone all the time, it can fuck up.
Really?
So like there was a period of time where they would jokingly like use their face to try and open it, and then my phone just stopped recognizing my
Oh
face.
no, it got confused.
And I was like, this is funny, but you have to fucking
Yeah,
stop.
you have to stop this. I can't access my phone anymore.
I can't get in there. I don't know my passcode. I got to give Zuckerberg my face.
I'm so sorry.
I got to.
With my face, and I didn't know the friggin' passcode. So instead, I just grabbed it and I threw it in the ocean. She told me I was the asshole. This is so surprising to him. But this had been going on for weeks, and I didn't like the photo of me asleep with my finger in my butt.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Throw that phone in the ocean, babe.
Am I the asshole? He writes, come on now.
Come on
now.
Well, I think, I guess like you have to throw the phone in the ocean and
Yeah.
then break up with them. You can't break up with them while they
No,
have the picture of you
no.
asleep with a finger in your ass.
You can't have that photo out there. That's gone on his LinkedIn.
Because I was like, what's the photo of?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
I was like, I'd want that in the ocean.
Yeah.
Just because there's something
Finger in
so...
butt.
Yeah, and asleep. There's something so like disgusting.
But
And
I reckon maybe she put
juvenile.
it there, do you think? Or one of his
She
friends.
did it?
But do you reckon? I don't know, because why would he have his finger in his butt?
People have weird
Okay,
dreams.
that's true.
If people can sleepwalk, they can sleep
That's true.
penetrate.
That's actually true.
Like I would be very upset if someone. I think that if somebody asks you to delete a photo,
Yeah.
you have to delete the
Of course.
photo.
Yeah.
Because also it would be crazy not to. Like imagine
It's
if
wild
someone was
not
like,
to.
I really hate this photo. Can you delete it? Like I've not been in a position where I've hated a photo so much that I've been like, I delete it from your phone. If they post it online, I'd be like,
Can
can
turn
you
that
not?
down?
Can you
Yeah,
turn
yeah.
that down?
Can you turn that down, please?
Can you please
Turn that down.
fade that phone down?
Let's get a nice fade on that one.
Do you remember? I was thinking about this because I've seen a few kids out and about with digital cameras because it's like, you know how we have like film
Yeah,
cameras because
yeah,
that
yeah.
was like our retro.
Had a few Kodak memories.
Yeah. And they have digital cameras now and
Wow.
that's their like retro cool thing that
Yeah,
they do.
because they got their phones, they don't need
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
very cool.
And so they're like going around snapping those. And it reminds me of like when there would be like a party or something and someone would have a digital camera and then the next day they would upload to an album on Facebook and there's like
Yes.
40,000 photos and it would be like fun night, ... like
Memories
and then-
forever.
memories, love these. And then it would just be like a barrage of some of the worst photos you've ever seen. And
Yeah,
just like
yeah.
comments would be like, delete this.
Yeah. Please delete.
Please delete. Or like club photos when
Oh
they'd have
my
a club
God.
photographer.
Yeah. With that
So
little the
insane.
logo in the corner and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Girls' night at.
Oh my God. But yeah, I think, look.
Look, you're awesome, Ben. Thanks for writing in.
Do you know what? I actually don't think Ben's the asshole. I think it's
Yeah.
aggressive to take someone's phone and throw it in the
Yeah,
ocean.
yeah.
Maybe she also has photos of like her Wi-Fi password on there.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I mean, like numbers of loved ones, whatever. But I think she should have deleted that photo. And I think
Absolutely.
if I had been asking over and over again and that
What do you
didn't
do?
happen, like if someone had like if it, because that's essentially like a nude. If someone had nudes of me and I was like,
Yeah.
please delete them and
Yeah.
they didn't, see ya.
So yeah, it's in the ocean.
Sleep with the fishes.
Sleep with the fishes.
Bye.
Bye you. Yeah, okay, so you're saying not the asshole.
I don't
Ben.
think he's an asshole.
Look, Reddit have agreed with you on this circumstance, saying
True.
not the asshole. How
And
gorgeous
it's
is
so
that?
funny because the twist at the end,
Oh my
I
God.
was so ready to be like, this guy's nuts.
Yeah. This guy sucks.
Yeah.
Is Henry the asshole?
I've got a dear friend called Henry. And
Oh,
yes, he
let's
is.
see if it is. Okay, let's see if it's your Henry. Am I the asshole for telling my brother he looks like Oscar the Grouch?
Hmm?
To be fair, he does. He looks exactly like Oscar the Grouch. I love exactly. He's not green. He doesn't live in a bin. Come on. Not that he lives in a bin or anything, but it's so funny to me that he is the goofiest MF you'll see in your life. And he gets angry at me sometimes and looks like Oscar the Grouch. Haha.
I think Oscar the Grouch is kind of handsome.
I think he's looking
I
real
wouldn't
good.
like, of all the like
Gorgeous eyebrows.
Sesame Street characters. Yeah.
Oscar's all right.
If someone said I look like Big Bird, you'd never see me
Sure,
again.
yeah. But Oscar's one of the real ones.
Yeah. Oscar's kind of, I don't know.
I kind of like him now. I'm kind of flirting. I think I'm flirting.
Especially if you're like a dude, if there's like a gruffness to him.
Yeah.
He lives in a bin.
Yeah, the guy lives in a bin. He's cool.
I love that.
I love that about him.
I'm also like, I know a lot of people get up. You have to be careful about who you compare certain people to.
Sure.
Or it's like, it depends on the individual. Because I have a
Yeah.
friend who would be like, you definitely look like this person. And they're so like not vain, but just like self-conscious that they'll take anything as like upsetting.
Sure.
Whereas I have been compared to, and I actually think she's stunning, so I'll take it. And I love her and everything that she's done. I've been compared to Aileen Wuornos, who's that, she is a female serial killer.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
The monster?
The monster. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If I'm a bit maggot and I've got a cigarette in my mouth, you best believe you're looking
That's
at
so
Aileen.
funny. You're looking at Aileen.
You're
Right now.
looking at Aileen. And like also I was watching, and this is like, this isn't as funny, but I think I look like a particular kind of like white person. Which I look like a white serial killer.
Which is lovely to hear.
Which is lovely to hear. But I was watching, you know that movie Knit Ram?
No,
Which is,
I don't know Knit
it's about Martin Bryan.
Right. Okay.
And
Yeah.
And I was watching it with my dad, and I just remember him we were sitting there watching, and it's like a pretty full on movie. I wouldn't recommend it if you don't really want to be triggered, but I think it's interesting, and I was surprised by how they did it. Anyway, I digress. But we were watching it, and he's just looking at me and looking at the screen, and then looking at me, and I'm like, what? And he's like, nothing. I was like, you think I look like Martin Bryan? He's like, I think you look like Martin Bryan.
You just look like any serial killer.
I think if they have blonde hair, kind of like Nordic Germanic features, done. And also, you shouldn't trust us.
Never trust.
History has said, do not. So it's fair enough.
That's so funny. It's fair. I get it.
I get it.
Anyway, so weird. I have to explain myself away here. But at a dinner party, I brought it up that he looked so upset, and someone, my uncle, pointed and laughed at him. And now everyone calls him Oscar the Grouch. Am I the asshole? And then after it says edit, fuck off. Now, what do you think in this circumstance?
Well, I think based on the edit, I think Reddit has turned on the guy.
Yeah, absolutely. All the comments were not very nice.
I think I still think that being compared to Oscar the Grouch is not that bad.
Yeah.
I just don't.
Oscar's cool.
Yeah, there's so many other characters or like cartoon whatever.
Yeah.
And having a nickname, that's sick.
Yeah, it is sick.
It means people
Oscar's kinda
like you.
cute.
Yeah.
I like him.
If they like called you Oscar the Grouch and then like punched you.
Yeah, if they're punching you every time.
If it becomes like a bashing.
Yeah.
I think but then I'm like, if I was upset about someone comparing me to people and kept bringing it, but I've literally had people be like, Aileen Wuornos.
Yeah, pointing at you and saying it.
And they'll be like, yeah, like Charlize Theron when she had to get prosthetics to look uglier.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. But yeah, I don't think he's the asshole. I think the party for yelling and pointing. But what does Reddit think?
The uncle pointing and laughing.
Yeah.
It's quite brutal. Reddit have said, not the asshole.
When was the last time you pointed and laughed at someone?
I don't think I have in a very long time.
We should bring it back.
We should bring it back. Yeah, just the single, like the Simpsons, ha ha ha. I think would be good.
Yes.
Is Jasmine the asshole?
Oh my God.
Am I the asshole for not allowing my brother and his boyfriend to come to my honeymoon? I, 25F, got married to my husband, 27M, almost an year ago.
27 millimeters. Wow. That's a tiny husband.
Tiny boy.
Wow.
Very nice. Almost an year ago. I love the grammar in all of this. We weren't able to afford to go to honeymoon. We wanted back then, so that's why we saved up and we could go to Hawaii for our 1-year anniversary.
Smart.
The trip is supposed to happen next month. We mentioned our plans to our family when my brother, 23M, suddenly chimed in saying that Hawaii is a great idea and that him and his boyfriend will join us too. I was taken aback. That's so bold, isn't it? It's like if you're like, I'm going on a date tonight, I'll be there. What time?
I will be there.
I would love to come. Thank you.
It's worse than that, I think.
Yeah, it is absolutely worse than that. But just the weird imposition of going, I'll be there. What time? What time you want me to
invite yourself anyway.
Send me your flights. What's happening? I was taken aback and he said that, and I told him that this isn't a random trip and it's supposed to be our honeymoon. But he said that we could go do a double couples honeymoon together so him and his boyfriend can feel the experience of one as well. Isn't that bizarre? Like me going, I'll come on the date tonight so I can experience what it would like to go on a date.
You can't trial run the honeymoon.
I just want to feel it out, see what it's like if we want one.
What the
Get
fuck
married,
is
man.
wrong with people? Also, why would you ever want to go on someone else's honeymoon?
It's so bizarre.
I could not imagine anything
No.
worse. And like, just stop.
Just stop.
Stop. I think the brother is the asshole.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah.
Well, I told him that if he wants to feel the experience of a honeymoon, they can just go on a separate trip instead of hijacking ours. But my brother went off at me, saying that I'm selfish for not sharing this experience with him. And when I know that our country doesn't allow gay marriages, and so he's never going to feel the experience of a real honeymoon, and this will be as close as he gets. And somehow my parents are now backing him up as well. Well, mostly my mum, but my dad usually goes along with her in order to avoid family conflict.
Smart.
Not going to lie, at this point, I feel like my brother is in the wrong and the wrong location of our honeymoon, so there's no possibility of him and his boyfriend somehow hijacking it. Am I the arsehole?
No, you're not. And also, look, yeah, it's sad that you can't marry
Yeah.
your boyfriend, but you're 23, so
Yeah.
relax.
Just relax. And just go on another holiday.
Just go.
Pretend
like,
it's your honeymoon.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like you want to be in the proximity of some marriage. People are so fucked up about marriage.
Yeah.
They're so strange. Again, circling back to Love is Blind and like the ultimatum and all those shows where it's like the hang up is like the marriage and like the certificate and stuff like that. And I understand it's significant for some people, but some people, the way that they approach it, like this brother, it's like you can go on your honeymoon, and I'm so sorry that you can't legally get married in your country.
Yeah,
I
of course.
don't mean to minimize, but you don't have to like be near a married couple.
No, in the proximity.
To legitimize the experience.
You know what you can do? You can go to a hotel and you can say it's our honeymoon.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do.
100%.
You just pretend it's your honeymoon.
But gay people in Australia were doing that for decades.
Yeah. You can just do that. Just pretend
can
it's your
just do
honeymoon.
that.
Yeah, just have a great time.
Or you can convince them that you're actually just really good friends and not get like the wedding charge.
Yeah. Isn't that nice? That's actually lovely.
Yeah. Reap the benefits of not legally being able to get married.
Now, look, you're saying not the asshole in this situation.
I don't think she's the asshole.
Reddit agree, not the asshole.
Thank you, Reddit.
We got one more. Is Sarah the asshole? Am I the asshole for telling my husband I don't want dinner on the table as soon as I walk in? Listen, I know this may sound crazy and I should be so entirely grateful that he even cooks, but he's gone so far as to make my plate and have it on the table when I walk in the door. I work 10 hours a day, bring my lunch and pack snacks so I have healthy options and save money. I have a 45-minute commute and work in a professional setting. I wear heels, a blazer most days, and dress nicely. She sounds incredible.
Okay,
I
great.
love that.
Sounds like a brag so far. I don't think we need to know that you dress nicely.
Dressy with heels and stuff. Very nice. I'd like to come home, use the bathroom because the long drive, and change, decompress before we sit down as a family. He finds that it's rude to not sit at the table immediately and eat, blaming that the kids are hungry. I've told him that I'd like to wait a little after getting home and then we could sit and eat as a family. That part is important to us both. Also, if he has dinner on the table at X time and say traffic stopping for gas or anything else delays me, he gets mad and makes it seem like I have inconvenienced the entire family. Seems a bit wild from him.
Yeah.
So after telling him I don't like the food on the table immediately, he blew up and said that he just won't cook anymore. That
Fucking hell. Jesus Christ. You can't have a little bit of feedback or a little bit of like what's the word?
Constructive.
Compromise.
Oh, yeah.
Any kind of compromise and then people just blow the fuck
Blow
up. Like,
up.
oh, God, yeah, I guess I'll kill myself. It's like, no, I just.
I'm not saying this, please.
I would like to piss and shit before dinner.
Yeah, please. It's a long drive.
For the love of God.
I just want to take off all these nice clothes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I get
Such
that.
nice clothes. Yeah.
It's so nice to come home and like immediately, like where I work, my day job requires a uniform.
Right.
And especially in summer, I get home and I'm like, I must immediately take these off. There's something about walking in the front door being like, these clothes are like sticking to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I understand what she's talking about.
Yes.
That wasn't what I was saying, as I am grateful he cooks it all, but it is too much to ask that we wait 30 minutes or so after I'm home to sit and eat. Jordan, what do you think in this situation?
I think I'd be curious to know if there's more to this story than Jasmine is letting on.
Yeah.
Jasmine's like, I'm having an affair. I'd like to quickly. Sometimes I'm late for dinner because I'm fucking.
Yeah, I'm fucking.
But I think that it's fair enough that she's like, can we just give it like a half-hour breather?
Yeah.
Or start cooking when I get home.
Yes.
Like that's like, let me just get a little bit more comfortable, because I guess like, especially if you're working like what it sounds like with her, like a 9 to 5, I feel like it would be really hard to like clock off.
Yeah.
And if you want to be like present for your kids and stuff like that, you gotta go
She
home.
needs that time.
You gotta shit, shower, and shave.
Yeah.
Put
the
on
3
like
S's.
yeah. Put on some Crocs and a big jumper.
Yeah.
And relax.
Yeah.
No, fully. I get it, and I'm also like, and it's that hard thing where it's like, I really appreciate what you've done.
Yeah.
This is so nice.
It's so nice.
great.
Thank you so much.
It's so good.
Thank you for heating this up.
I was like the other day, this is awful for me to say, but like my partner did a big cleanup and it was like, oh my God, incredible. Coming home to like a nice, you're just like, thank you so much.
Yeah.
This is so great. And then I was like, I did have all that stuff there.
Yeah.
But that's not Kayla's fault.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
my
yeah.
like, and this, not to be this bitch, but that's my ADHD brain being like, oh no, see that pile of shit in the corner?
Yeah.
It made sense to me.
Yeah. That was a me thing.
Oh, it looks disgusting?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's my
That's my pile.
Yeah. That's my pile.
That's my organisation pile.
That's my pile. That's actually where my outfits are.
I need that for my week.
That was a plan. And there was also some receipts in there.
That was a
I need.
plan. That pile, that was a plan.
That was a plan. There was a plan for that pile. And you fucked it up.
You fucked it. You fucked the whole thing and I'm leaving.
It is very funny.
So you're saying in this situation, you're saying not the arsehole, really?
Not the arsehole.
No. Ready to agree.
Thank
not
you.
the arsehole. Thank
Oh
you so
my God.
much. Now, at the end of that, we've had no arseholes in our opinion, which is actually quite nice.
Oh, that
It's actually
is
quite
nice.
What a lovely day.
Because it is wild, that whole am I the arsehole thing, the things that people will open themselves up to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Crazy.
And all the comments and everything. That's why, the edit the fuck off was very nice.
Edit fuck off. Please fuck off. Just like, and you couldn't delete it. Like, he had to edit.
Had to edit, of course.
Final word.
My final word. Jordan, thank you so much for joining me on Am I the Arsehole? How do people
you for
find you
having
and
me.
every wonderful thing that you do?
You can find me on Instagram at jbar_666 and Threads as well. I'm
my
using
God.
Threads
Using
more.
it. You're
I'm
on it.
getting into it. I know it's like we all stopped, but start again.
We're back. Yeah, start up again. Everyone, get your phones out right now. Start again.
I got little thoughts. I want
Yeah.
to put them somewhere,
Great.
and I don't want to use Twitter.
Yeah. And we're not calling it X. We're never going to call it X.
Oh
It's never going to
my
happen.
God.
Oh my God.
And then I also have 2 podcasts, Sex and the Sex in the Sex, which is a Sex and the City rewatch podcast.
Yeah.
And Pop Gaze, which is a pop culture
Yeah.
potty as well.
Yeah, amazing. And Triple J.
Listen on every
Listen on
Saturday and
Triple J.
Sunday, baby.
Yeah, baby. Jordan Barr, thank you so much for doing me.
Thank you for having me.
Good night, Australia.
Good night.